Love, Death, and Robots is back with season 4. And if you've never heard of Love, Death, and Robots, now is a great time to get into it with the new season. And the first episode is a great way to kick off the season. But before we talk about this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So the first episode, it's only 6 minutes, probably one of the shortest episodes of the entire season. And then in this episode, we get the famous legendary band Red Hot Chili Peppers. This episode is recreating the Red Hot Chili Peppers 2003 performance at Slane Castle in Ireland. And this performance is pretty great. I mean, apart from the fact that this episode is animated and it definitely elevates the performance to a new level, the original performance is also pretty awesome. But to see it animated in this way is really cool. There are different elements that play into this episode that enhance it because it's animation. You can kind of do anything you want. For example, people are being thrown around across the stage. Their strings are getting tangled up. They're being thrown into each other and their arms and legs are coming apart, but just a quick little whoosh, and the strings pull everyone back together. And even when the band interacts with the crowd, there's funny moments with Anthony Kiedis grabbing someone's phone and seeing his oversized head filming himself, or when someone tries to flash the band, and when they do, it's just like you would see if someone took the shirt off a doll. So lots of fun animation things that happen in this, but also just a great performance. And we all kind of love Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like, Can't Stop is a great song, probably one of their most famous songs. It's been featured in so many films and TV shows. But my question is, how did Red Hot Chili Peppers get this episode? I mean, I'm not knocking Red Hot Chili Peppers at all. They're a great band, but there are also other great bands out there too. So how did they get this episode? Well, one of the clues that we have on how they got this episode is the director of this episode, David Fincher. David Fincher started his career directing music videos, and he's done music videos for people like Michael Jackson, Billy Idol, Nine Inch Nails, and more. And after he did some music videos for a while, he moved into directing movies, and he's done movies like Seven, Fight Club, Gone Girl, and more. So this guy's got quite a bit of accomplishments under his belt. And for him to come into the Netflix space and do a music video is unheard of because that's where he got started. And I bet he's just a fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers and thought, hey, why don't we just do a video with them? We're just really recreating their performance. And while that seems kind of simple, the animation that goes into that is a lot harder. And it's not something that's like super easy to do. That's why we only get like 6 minutes of an episode, and why there's not that many episodes in the season, and there's multiple years between seasons of Love, Death, and Robots as well. But one of the things that I think makes this a little bit easier to accept that Red Hot Chili Peppers is the band that went with this is because the majority of their music videos is them performing. I mean, take a look at the music video Danny California. It's just the band performing the song just in different outfits over and over and over and over again. And they're an amazing band to see live. I've seen them live, and they were an excellent performance. I was several rows back, but I still felt the energy that they brought to the stage, and it was just an amazing show. And if I could have been there in 2003 to see them live at this concert, that would have been great. But being able to recreate that concert in animation and share it with a new generation through Love, Death, and Robots is a unique experience that Red Hot Chili Peppers has been able to take advantage of with David Fincher. And I think this is an opportunity for several older bands to also take advantage of to try and recreate their image for a new generation. And Love, Death, and Robots is just one path. Maybe there's an animated series that could happen for several bands, or a band could come up with their own kind of like backstory and animate that. There's several biopic TV shows that have this same kind of concept where they're like, let's show you the backstory of this band or how that band may form in the current generation, in the current situations. And those are unique and different takes on it. But I think bands and music as a whole can take advantage of sharing their well-documented backstories in unique ways. I would love to watch an animated series of Guns N' Roses. Heck, you can make that like a super futuristic cyberpunk show, but it'd be about Guns N' Roses, or the plot of how Guns N' Roses pretty much came together. Or give me a HBO series of how Led Zeppelin came together. That also would be really cool to see too. There's tons of opportunities on how bands can come back and share their rich history with newer and younger audiences in creative ways. And Love, Death, and Robots of Red Hot Chili Peppers is just one small example of how that's possible. I really hope this episode is considered a success and more bands come out and say, you know, we have a story that we'd like to tell, or we have a well-documented past and we love how we came together as a band. Let's see if we can share this story in a unique way, either through animation or maybe through a TV show or some sort of new concept that lets me connect with that band further. I've talked before in the past about how comic books are an excellent way to get closer to a band, and it's relatively affordable to do so. I think animation in a TV show is a more expensive step, but can also be considered more accessible to people because you just put it out on a streaming service that most people already have access to. Whereas comic books, I think they're a lower price entry point to get into, but most people probably aren't going to their comic book shop to pick things up. But that might be changing. Post Malone has a new comic book coming out called Big Rig, and he dropped a special 0 issue for New Comic Book Day. And that issue was completely sold out. People that didn't even care about comic books or normally go to a comic shop came into my local comic shop to pick up that issue. So who knows? Musicians like Post Malone could be changing the tide when it comes to comic books, and more artists could be making their own comic books. But what do you think? Have you seen the new season of Love, Death, and Robots? And do you like the way they recreated this performance of the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Are there other mediums and other ways that bands can tell their stories that you'd be interested in seeing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.